You are now tuned in to DameSmiff.
Welcome to Musician Talks with DameSmiff, and this is episode 31. And today I want to talk about what I'd like to call the handshake between artists. But before I get started in explaining all of that and getting ready, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and share this video with anybody who's interested in the music industry, advancing their music career, or just want to learn various soft skills and just want to have a conversation about creativity in general. But like I said, I want to talk about what I call the handshake. And what the handshake is as an artist is that first maybe hour, 2 hours in meeting a new artist as an artist. And the reason I want to talk about that, because just like meeting anybody in general, first impressions are very important. But I call this the handshake because this provides an opportunity for both people, for both artists. So let's say you go to an open mic show and it's for your own gig, and you do your performance, and then another artist goes on after you and you really enjoyed their performance. This is a perfect opportunity for you to engage in what I call the handshake, where you maybe approach the artist or approach their manager and you request to be introduced. And when you introduce yourself in the best light, preferably not, right off the stage when you're probably, if you do a lot on stage, sweaty or in another mindset. But basically, you want to present yourself in the best way possible, and you want to do this in a sense that's friendly, approachable. You don't want to be this type of person that feels like you're checking their energy or testing them or anything like that, or shit testing them. You don't want to do that. You want to make it seem welcoming and kind of like humble and brotherly or sisterly about it. Now, the next few things I'm going to tell you are why I call this a handshake. So as you guys are introducing yourselves and you're learning about each other, either your experiences where you may have learned or whatever else, however long the conversation may go, you set up an opportunity to either talk about collaborating or set up an opportunity for you to assist them in the hopes that you can create a later opportunity for you guys to collaborate. And so what that would typically look like is the artist you're talking to, they come off the stage, you've done your introduction, and you guys have started a conversation. You may suggest possibly meeting up again if they're still in the city or wherever area, and maybe discussing career paths or maybe ideas or various things like that. Now, I know for some people this can be kind of controversial because of maybe like having creative differences, or you don't want to expose your hand too early. You may have a big plan or idea coming up that you don't want to expose too early yet. But the idea isn't to set up something that's going to be a very, very tough investment, but to set up something that has the potential to be an investment. So let's say the artist you met is into jewelry and you're also into jewelry. You guys can discuss jewelry and things like that. But if you're in the hip hop industry, jewelry is a big topic in the music. Maybe you guys can discuss doing a song or maybe working in the similar studios where you guys can link again to do collaborations. But that's only on that opportunity was provided in the sense that you both have something that you both have interest in, which is jewelry in this example. Now, that can be super cool. The next thing you need to think about is how would this business make sense? But that's going beyond what I'm explaining today. All I'm explaining today is the initial handshake to get you to that opportunity. Now, many artists aren't as extroverted. They don't walk up to other artists and things like that, or maybe they're super focused on their career and things like that to actually step outside of what they're doing to engage with other artists. But this can be super, super empowering because it helps you build a network and helps you understand other artists and the roles that they play within the industry that you also work in, and it also provides you an opportunity to make more possibilities within your career. So I'll give you an example of how this worked for me. For me, when I was in school learning music, I was learning engineering. So I was learning how to write, notate, and compute music from data and MIDI and things like that. But I use that to put myself in studios and writing for other artists, writing for bands and things like that. So that way I can have the opportunity to speak directly to artists to be like, look, I either want to help you with your music, help you create your music, or maybe engineer or mix or do something for you. So that way in the future, um, we can collaborate on something together where it's not necessarily I'm working for you or you working for me, but we're both in tandem working towards the same goal. And that would turn into either doing an entire album together, or that would turn into um, essentially like working together. Like I've had people who I've met in one band that we both work for another band together because of the relationship that we have. So there's a lot of opportunities in that initial, what I like to call handshake between artists. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be within the same genre. I've worked with people who were painters, people who were had honestly nothing to do with music through my initial reaction with them with what I do, which is music. So it's very important to understand that as an artist. Now, there are ways to go about this. Like there's many, many, many approaches to this. So finding one that works for you and finding one that's positive and beneficial for the person you're committing the handshake with will be way more beneficial than just trying to try everything, or just what is it, cold calling like random artists and things like that, trying to do collaborations. Typically, especially if the artist is more established and beginning to garner like more of a business resume within their career, they're not really going to be they're going to be way more hesitant to work with people they've just met, that to hit them up through an email or a DM, but they'll be a little more open to people that they've met firsthand, or maybe you shook their hand on the way off the stage or something like that, and maybe you've already set up a meeting with them before and they have your name in their phone book and things like that. You're in a better position than the person who's just going to send them a random DM saying, I have $5,000 for a feature. So it is what it is. But that's the episode today. I just wanted to discuss what I like to call the handshake between artists. And that's it for me. This is DameSmiff with Musician Talks, and I'm out.